Okay, dear friends in Dhamma, we are going to start the first question and answer session. So we have received a couple of questions. So we will start with the written questions.
Avasarai Bhante, we have received 7 reports today. Right. Report number 1, Dear Bhante, when you start sitting meditation and get your mind to be in the present moment, concentrating on breathing Anapana, after some time your mind gets disturbed due to pain in the joints, legs, etc. Even though you consider the pain is not permanent and it comes and goes, still it continues to disturb your meditation process. How can you overcome this? Maybe I am still a beginner. With time, will it set better? Please advise.
Yeah, so with time it will get better. That's why tomorrow we have a yoga session. Because everything matters. Actually, you need some support coming from the body. So that's why the body has to be flexible and it has to maintain the posture as much as possible, as long as possible, without changing the posture. That continuity is actually important at the beginning, because even a slightest movement will disturb your meditation at the beginning. But later, actually, it's not like that. You can even change the posture, you can get up and you can walk against it. Everything happens, but everything comes under the meditation and there is no much distraction. But at the beginning, even a slightest thing going to happen. So therefore, maintaining the posture is very important. So that's why we are taking a few minutes to settle down, to have the best posture as much as possible. Spending few minutes to recognize that best posture is really worthy. Because otherwise, if we are quickly starting our session and trying to quickly, say, attain samadhi, it's not going to work. But if you spend few minutes adjusting your posture, feeling comfortable, all that, really helpful. So anyway, please participate to tomorrow's yoga session also. Maybe Modit or someone will conduct it. Because if you also, now if you are familiar with yoga or any sort of exercise, and after the yoga, if you sit, that also most probably you may find it is quite helpful. Because the body needs to be quite active, not lethargic. The body has to be quite active. Then, say once you sit, your mind also settles, calms down. It's a kind of opposite way it is working. The body has to be kind of active and the flexibility is there. So when with such a completely flexible body, once you sit, you feel comfortable, the blood circulation happens smoothly, the air circulation happens smoothly, the breathing happens smoothly, the whole system is in fairly good condition. And once when it happens, if you are able to pay your attention to breathing or rising and falling, so then you may understand, okay, things are very apparent, you can maintain your attention smoothly to whatever the process that you have selected. And then the mind calms down, settles, can even become tranquil. Then we can start Vipassana even. So therefore, just for the time being, just bear with it. And just to share with some of my experiences, actually while I was in Nissarana, I also tried, as a beginner, without recognizing much of the body's capabilities, I tried to spend long time, end up with back pain. And for 2 weeks, couldn't meditate. So if we stretch too much, that's also not going to help. Suppose that you are with lot of effort, but body is not yet ready to maintain the same posture for a long time, but you are straining it for unnecessary limits, then ultimately it's going to hurt. So then for several weeks you can't even sit. So that is the kind of pay. So therefore have a kind of a balance. So don't hurry, don't be in a rush. Just allow things to happen naturally, slowly, and smoothly things will, that you can enhance your time period.
This has 3 parts, but all relating to sitting, so I'll read all 3 at once, Bhante. Report number 2, Venerable Swamin Wahanse. Number 1, very often I fall asleep during meditation. How can I overcome this? Number 2, In addition to concentrating on breathing during meditation, can we concentrate on a still picture or any other object, example Buddha statue, to avoid deviation of our mind to any other thing?
Yeah, we'll go one by one. Okay. Yeah. So anybody who is already sleeping? So sleeping is something common in the meditation retreats. So if you come to Nissarana, assume it is 10 days retreats. Most of the time, the very first few days, many of them are sleeping. So that can't help. But later, slowly, they pick up, and then they come into the sort of mental kind of dynamism or activity, sort of quite active mind. So that happens smoothly. But very few days, the very first day, maybe you have all these troubles. By the way, that's why the walking meditation is quite important. So do as much as possible walking. That also you can do outside. So you can have some breeze and the natural environment. Then the mind become active, and you can, if there are distractions, you can let them go or relinquish it to the outside, to the environment, and you can breathe with the environment, be with the environment. The environment may not agitate you. So therefore, be with the environment, just have a walk. That will help. So after the walking session only you have to sit. So that usually helps. And the other thing is, during sitting, probably you can start with noting. Rather than immediately trying to calm down the mind, you can start with noting. Say if you are using the mindfulness of breathing, when breathing in happens, you can note it as in. When breathing out happens, you can note it as out. Very simple technique. So don't complicate it also. You can have various other techniques like numbering, counting, possible. Say, in breath, out breath 1, in breath, out breath 2, in breath, out breath 3. So likewise you can go till maybe 8 or 10. Again you can come back, start with 1. So such counting methods are also useful. If you want, you can try that. But later you need to abandon that. So all these are, simple techniques that we have to use without burdening the mind. And later you have to let it go, and you have to maintain a very, simple, relaxed, fairly focused attention. So I'm talking for the beginners. And then with this noting, mind again become quite active, and you have to be vigilant what is really happening right now. So likewise you can go through. And walking also similar. So while walking, when your right foot touches the ground, you can name it, label it, note it as right. When your left foot touches the ground, you can note it as left. Or when you recognize the lifting, you can note it as lifting. Once you are recognizing the placing, you can note it as placing. So the important thing is, whatever the physical activity and the mental noting has to go in parallel. You should not be earlier, not late, rather it has to happen at the same time. Kind of a synchronization has to happen. And then most of the time, you are very much aligned with the process, and you can be in the present moment. Strategically, then we are using whatever the bodily postures, bodily processes to develop mindfulness. Later, once you are confident, okay, now mind is settled, fairly mindfulness is available, then you can stop noting and see whether you can maintain a silent mind, but fully observing. A careful observation is continuing, but you are not verbalizing it. You are not noting it or labeling it, but keeping the mind as much as possible very quiet. Silent observation. So don't worry about initial issues on the sleeping. You can overcome that with time.
Second part. In addition to concentrating on breathing during meditation, can we concentrate on a still picture or any other object, example Buddha statue, to avoid deviation of our mind to any other things?
Possible, but the thing is difficult. Now, kasina meditation is on this. Now, if you know there are 10 kasinas, usually one can practice. We keep the still color, maybe red, yellow, white, or other red, Neela, Pita, Lohita, Odata. Blue, yellow, white, and then red. So anyway, 4 colors are there. You can use the color kasinas. And again, the earth kasina, water kasina, air kasina, fire kasina, those are also there. And as you said, even the Buddha statue, you can maintain, you can keep your attention. And sometimes you can use it even to pick the color. Ultimately, you can shift to the kasina meditation also. That is also possible. Now, there are like such meditations. Now, say for example, if you are familiar with samatha meditation, now, for example, if you know the 32 parts of the body, you keep continuously keeping your attention on the 32 parts, slowly, assume that you are able to pay enough attention to the skull. Now, the skull usually appears kind of a white. And from that, you can pick the color white, and then we can go to the white kasina. So, this is a still picture. So, this white color or whatever this object what you have taken is still. Similarly, say if you are practicing metta meditation. So, you can assume that whoever the person that you are spreading metta could be very much sitting in front of you with a very pleasant attitude or pleasant way that he is smiling and he is in front of you, and then to him that you are placing metta, spreading metta. So he is also healing and being happy, joyful as a result of your metta. So this is the way that we are practicing. So the very joyful environment that we are creating, in a way little artificial, but that will be more successful in samatha meditation. The thing is, usually, now even in anapanasati, you may start with in-breath and out-breath, but later when it grows or the concentration grows, it will produce the nimitta, kind of a light, and that light is usually still. It is not changing. It is still light. So slowly you need to discard breathing, the paying attention to breathing, and you are shifting your attention to this still color, the white, the light, and then you are slowly absorbing into it or merging with it. So these things are available. But thing is, better start with, say, walking, rising and falling of the abdomen, maybe breathing. So these are very easy. If you are simply keeping on a particular object again and again, and not bad, possible, but I don't recommend kasina meditation anyway without a teacher, to practice without a teacher. There are certain hindrances, there are certain pitfalls in that, and therefore I don't recommend it. But anapanasati, rising and falling, walking meditation, I can recommend to anyone. No much issues. So therefore, start with that. Later, if necessary, we can go into other areas. So if you have any question, please feel free to raise your hand, then we can participate in the discussion. Otherwise, we are continuing.
Third part, during meditation, if we can't keep our bone straight and shoulders relaxed for a long time, what should we do? Change the position or to do walking meditation?
Or have a backrest. With time, getting old and the neck pain, head pain, back pain, all are there. Accordingly, you have to adjust. Can't help. These bodies are not permanent, so we have to adjust. But at the beginning, as you said, yes, better maintain straight posture, straight back, without backrest. But later, if you really want, as you are continuing, that will come someday. But so if you are feeling like, sometimes what happens is we start with a straight posture, but later slowly, it bends and ultimately you will become like this. That's not good. So that is also something we need to be careful, because sometimes what happens is, assume that you start like this, only the head bend like this. So that is also not good. Then you end up with neck pain. Definitely neck pain. Sometimes people completely collapse, almost like this, from the the bone, the back. That's also not correct. So time to time, better you reflect about yourself, about your posture. How is it situated right now? How is it dealing right now? Do I need slight adjustments? No problem, you can do it. So therefore, don't think that it's the kind of a straight line that we have to follow. Time to time, we need to step back and check, do a little bit of introspection, do a little bit of posture adjustments. Sometimes we call it as proprioceptive awareness. So you are recognizing the orientation about the body, in the space how it is oriented. Is it you are maintaining the posture, or it has completely deformed? Yeah, slight adjustments are okay, but kind of a strong, kind of a considerable deformation has happened to the posture, then you better straight it up.
Report number 3. This also has 2 parts, Bhante. Venerable Swamin Wahansa, since of late I find it difficult to do the breath meditation, as I find it hard to keep my mind in one place. I find it easy to do Kayanupassana meditation and could concentrate better. So is it all right to do Kayanupassana from the beginning?
Anapanasati is one of Kayanupassana. So what did you mean by Kayanupassana? Are you talking of 32 parts of the body, Kayagata Sati? Or because Kayanupassana has 14 meditation exercises. Anapanasati is one of it. And then postures, another one. 32 parts, what you call the Asubha Bhavana, another one. Then Dhatu Manasikara, elements meditation, another one. And then we have already 4. What are the other 9? Navasivatika. Recognizing the decomposing corpse. So those are the 14 Kamatahan, 14 meditation exercises available in Kayanupassana. So, which one are you referring? Yeah. Can you please...
breathing, your feelings going up and down and feelings going sideways.
Feelings?
Yes.
You are recognizing the feelings from top to bottom?
And then?
Sides?
Yes.
Then you are doing very much like the Vedananupassana. Vedananupassana. Various sensations are there, various feelings are there, maybe pleasurable feelings, equanimous feelings, painful feelings are there. So you are trying to recognize various feelings throughout the body. Am I correct? Yes. Fine. I mean, you can do that. I mean, thing is, for you to successfully do it, you need little bit fair amount of concentration also. Otherwise, mind get distracted. That's why I mean, that typical Goenka practice, they first do Anapanasati to introduce mindfulness, to develop certain amount of concentration. Then only shifting to the recognizing all these sensations. Because immediately if you are trying to recognize sensations, that won't be successful. So therefore, I mean, beginning you can start with a little bit of Anapanasati or rising and falling. Yes. And naturally, if you can recognize various sensations now evident in the body, you can start being with them, recognizing them, observing them, no harm. Yeah.
Brings it the way.
Part 2. Since of late I get very angry instantly. What could I do to control it in day-to-day life?
Getting angry at old age is not good. Probably you might have quickly become old because of you getting angry. අර අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කියන්නේ නේද? ඔච්චර තරහ ගන්න එපා ඉක්මනට නාක වෙනවා කියලා. So anyway, you need to recognize anger as anger. Can you do that? You know that sadosan chittanti pajanati. Rather than you recognize, okay, I am an angry person, I am with short temper, okay, I am a bad guy, you know. That is the way of looking at wrong way. Rather, as we continue Satipatthana practice, so anger is just anger. Lust is just lust. Jealousy is just jealousy. Metta, loving kindness, is just loving kindness. So you are trying to recognize them objectively rather than identifying with them. So anger, so once you know, okay, now the mind has anger, mind is going through anger, can you shift outside, can you step back outside and look at anger as anger? Now say for example you are walking. You allow the body to walk naturally and you be an outsider. You are recognizing how the body is walking. You are like a spectator, you are like a observer. Body is walking. Similarly, when the body is breathing, you allow natural breathing and you step back, you stay outside and see how the body is breathing. Similarly, now the mind is angry. So you step back and see, okay, how anger happens. How you are trying to contribute to that, how anger is trying to pull you inside, how it's trying to, sort of agitate you, trigger you, and how you are, connecting various past incidents into the picture, maybe future incidents to the picture. So likewise, you are fabricating the whole thing. If you are able to recognize all that, you are doing very, perfect Chittanupassana. Recognizing all these mental conditions is one part of the practice. So rather than, you can use metta meditation anyway. That is the one simple technique that you are assume that you are still not capable of recognizing anger as anger. Rather, what happens is you immediately get trapped in it, get caught up with it, and you become really angry. That means still mindfulness is not enough, not developed enough. So then metta is a very good antidote. You can develop metta meditation often, then probably you can suppress anger to some time. But later, as you are developing Satipatthana practice, slowly you gain the capacity to look at all these different emotions as mere emotions. And it may not even grow to the level of emotion, rather at the feeling level you are able to tap it, you are able to track it. And then it may not grow, it may not intensify, rather you can, when you recognize it, it will slowly fade away. It will naturally happen. So therefore don't worry too much about it. I also get angry. So when anger is there, let's recognize it. And then it will go. All these, defilements are not permanent. They come and go. But we are the ones feeding them. We are the ones giving too much, strength to them. We think they are, kind of devils. But they are merely growing by getting support from us, by getting strength from us. The moment that we are able to step back and look at it objectively, they lose their strength, slowly fade away.
Report number 4. Dear Bhante, if we want to take a decision, example, going on a trip, do we have to look at it in terms of the gain versus suffering, within brackets, Ashvadaya Adinava, or in terms of impermanent nature of it? I noticed my mind can easily be influenced by others' opinions, which I really want to ignore later. Please advise.
Yeah, this is a good reflection. So that's why if you have referred Chatu Sampajanya, anybody has known to that, Chatu Sampajanya? In the Sampajanya, clear comprehension, when it comes to the commentary, actually it is mentioned 4 types of Sampajanya, clear comprehension. The first type is Sappaya Sampajanya, whether it is sort of suitable to you. Is it suitable for me to do it? So you do a little bit of reflection. And then Gochara Sampajanya. Say, is it appropriate and is it possible to include whatever the activity to meditation, to satipatthana. Assume that now you want to go to, go to the well to carry some water. Just take a simple thing. That may be in the morning. And you can do a little bit of reflection. So can I walk mindfully so that I am doing Kayanupassana? So that is where the Gochara Sampajanya. So where each and every activity you are trying to include to your practice to get the benefit. So you are not wasting time. So even that little activity. And before you are going that, so you do a little reflection. Is it the proper time? Will there be more crowd at the well? Assume that you are in a village and so many, women are coming to get the water, and they start gossiping and all that. So you can consider all these possibilities. And is it the suitable time for me to go there? So you do a little bit of reflection before going. And once you understood, okay, no problem, I can handle it, or there may be less crowd, so you assume, and then you give okay, and then you proceed. And while walking, okay, you do the Gochara Sampajanya. So maintain your activity within one form of Satipatthana. And then another one is called Sattaka Sampajanya. Is there a meaning to what you are going to do? Is it a simple impulse coming from the mind, or is it really something useful that I am going to do? Sattaka, sa-attha, there's a meaning, there is a purpose. So what's the purpose of my intention? So is it really necessary? Is no water available now? Okay, yes, then I need to go. If enough water is there, then no need to go. But there may be an intention coming because many others are there. So I am getting a kind of an impulse to go there and have a chit chat with others. So maybe. So likewise, you can verify what is the real purpose of currently I am going there. So really, if it is useful, purposeful, then you can give okay. Otherwise, you can understand, okay, it's a kind of a, mishap. Then no, I don't need to implement. And the last one is called Asammoha Sampajanya, where even while you're walking, while you are continuing in that activity, not only you are into the Satipatthana, but you are even recognizing if any eye-making happens, any self-identification happens. So you are going to more deeper aspects of Vipassana. So, and even to Venerable Rahula, Buddha advice, Paccavekkitva kayena kammang katabbang. Paccavekkitva vachaya kammang katabbang. Paccavekkitva manasaya kammang katabbang. So whenever you do a bodily activity, verbal activity, mental activity, you do a little bit of reflection. Without immediately react, you do a little bit of reflection. Mindfulness practice really helpful in that. So it will help you to step back and see the situation. Accordingly, you are able to do what is appropriate. So therefore, please welcome. Yeah.
Report number 5. Most Venerable Bhante, Avasarai. Please be kind enough to let us know your thoughts and views on temporary ordination for lay people. Thank you. With metta.
Not at Nissarana. We don't entertain, but there are places. No harm, I don't know. You can see whether it is good or bad. You can taste it and see. It's widely available in Burma, in Myanmar. It's available in Thailand. It's available in Sri Lanka. Also, I heard that few places it's available. There's one forest monastery also. It's close to Kegol. I can't remember the name. And there is one in Horana for females. So few places are there. It's a different experience. You can enjoy it and see. So if you feel, okay, it's good, why am I returning? I can continue it. Some people do that also. They go for just to test it, and later they stay there without returning back. That also can happen. So you better give up everything and go. In case But anyway, in the typical Sri Lankan Theravada tradition, typical approach is to give up everything and then go for good. Not having any reservation to come back. So leaving it for good. So then you are very much dedicated, you are firm in it, your decision is well made, you have assessed all possibilities and you have taken a strong decision, okay, I am going to go, I am going to renunciate, I am not going to change. You are firm in your decision. Because otherwise it's very difficult. You know that others will tell various things, enough objections. Your mother will cry, father will cry, husband will, if you are married, husband will cry, wife will cry. Maybe children will say, please go. You can see, So anyway, if you really want to become a monk, it's a good decision and you need to reflect a lot and take a decision.
Report number 6. Venerable Bhante, Theruvan Saranai. Question arises from your mention that you are not an arahant, enlightened one, in a retreat, Q&A time. Does it mean there is a difference between nivana / nirvana and rahat / rahatan in attainment?
How to answer? So what we are doing here is to develop our practice and no need to claim as I am an arahant, I am a sotapanna. It is not for sale. No need to use it as a marketing tool. That's why Venerable Jnanarama Mahathero, the very first chief abbot as well as chief meditation master in Nissarana, he made a very interesting statement. If someone is claiming, okay, I am a sotapanna, you can be sure that he is not. Because these things are not for for using to earn gain and fame and all that, not for sale. That's what I mean. What you are trying to understand is the defilements available in the mind, and once the defilements are abandoned, particularly the personality view, sakkaya ditthi, to whom are we going to claim, okay, I am a sotapanna, I am an arahant? Who is that I? Isn't it? To which are you going to call as I? So I can introduce in a different way. If you get a thought, I am a sotapanna, you can recognize that is a thought. Oh, I am not a sotapanna. Oh, that is also a thought. That's it. So don't worry about attaining sotapanna. If you are feeling, okay, I am not yet a sotapanna, understand, okay, that's a negative thought. Written as a domanassa. Nekkammasita domanassa. It's a thought. I am a sotapanna. Maybe coupled with conceit, you get a thought. There are 3 possibilities. Typically, there are 3 possibilities that the conceptual proliferation to happen, prapancha to happen. One thing is mana, one thing is ditti, one thing is tanha. Tanha, mana, ditti. I am a sotapanna. Maybe mana, the conceit related thought. I am a sotapanna. I want to become a sotapanna. Maybe related to tanha. That's also possible. I was a sotapanna, for a long time ago now. Even though you don't know, I have attained that long time ago. Maybe a ditti. These are thoughts. So, whenever even any sort of I-making happens, so it's going opposite to the understanding. It's a defilement. Asmiti bhikkhave manyita metang. Ayang ahang asmiti manyita metang. Rupi bhavissanti manyita metang. Arupi bhavissanti manyita metang. All these are manyana. All these are conceiving. So whenever we understand, I am here, I am a sotapanna, I am an arahant. So there is an I, strong I is there. That means still sakkaya ditthi is there. personality view is there. Does it mean that the Buddha can't say, I am the Buddha? Buddha can't say, can any Arahant say, okay, I did that, okay, I am the one going to preach, he given me that. So those are the other areas that we can actually explore. They also use the language, they also use the terms I, me, all those, knowing it is a mere language, knowing it is a mere convention. So therefore it is very difficult for us to verify whether a person is an Arahant or not. And it is also not much relevant. And if you know the practice, you continue the practice. If others are claiming as an Arahant or they are declaring as Arahant, not much useful to us. Sometimes they may be doing a proper claim, sometimes not. Even during the Buddha's time, monks come and declare, okay, I am an Arahant. But Buddha say, and later time, another monk is asking, Bhante, are all these who are declaring, I am an Arahant, are they really Arahants? And Buddha say, some are, yes, they are truly Arahants, some are not. Because, mistakes can happen. That's why into the fourth parajika, it's a parajika offense. If someone is declaring as an Arahant, expecting gain and fame, knowingly that he is not an Arahant, he just want to cheat others, then it's a parajika offense if he is doing it as a Upasampada monk. No more Upasampada. He loses the Upasampada. So gravity is there. But on the other hand, one can have wrong understanding or misunderstanding due to conceit, I am an Arahant. So it is given an exception. So even if someone is telling I am an Arahant, if he thinking that he is an Arahant, not expecting any kind of gain and fame, but assume that he has Arahant, not being really an Arahant, but it's given an excuse because it has happened because of conceit. Therefore, these things are not easy to understand. So if you want to really understand an Arahant, Buddha say, okay, you have to associate that person for a long time. And you also have to be quite vigilant. You also have to be really wise. And that person, that so-called Arahant has to go through very difficult situations of life. And during those occasions, how he is managing them, that is what you need to recognize. Accordingly, you can probably understand, okay, how he has handled that difficult situation. Not as a typical person, he has handled that in a more, surprising manner. Then there may be something in him. I'll give you a simple example. There is one Arahant called Adimutta. I am talking of Buddha's time. So Adimutta, he is actually a Samanera. He is a novice monk. But he is an Arahant. And while he is going through the forest, he being captured by bandits. And now they are taking him for give a sacrifice. Typically when someone is grabbed, when he or she is walking in the forest, taking them forcefully to kill, what is the reaction? They all try their hard to escape, right? And they may cry, they may plead, please give me I want to go there, my mother is there, my father is there, my children is there, please give me, please leave me alone. They may, start crying and screaming and all that is there. So what happened to Venerable Adimutta? Nothing happened. And the thieves were puzzled. The bandits were puzzled. And now they are taking him to murder. They are getting him to kill. And now they are asking the question, how are you maintaining this kind of, relaxed, tranquil mentality even when we are going to kill you? So, very interesting. These verses are very beautiful. You can read the Adimutta Theragatha in the Theragatha book. Very interesting. And he is telling, Tinakatta samang lokang, yada panyaya passati. So I am looking at, I see everything as like, grass and katta means dara. Something firewood. I can't see them as really something valuable, something substantial. What I see is very much like empty. Yada panyaya pasati, I threw all that through wisdom. Suddha sankhara punjoyang. So all things are mere sankharas, or mere conditioned phenomena. So then you can do whatever you want. That's what he is telling. Okay, if you want to kill the body, okay, it's up to you. I have no any kind of intention to hold anything, to grasp anything, because I know everything does not belong to me. Everything is mere conditions, mere conditioned phenomena. So these are another typical conditioned phenomena going through. So if you have any purpose in killing it, okay, you do it. You can see the situation. I mean, he is going to be killed, how he is reacting. And then these thieves, they understood, okay, this is a special person. There should be something in him. So they become followers of Venerable Adimutta. The thieves become arahants later. You can see the situation. So for today's arahants, you can go and see this kind of situation and check. Probably. So I mean, no point of arguing on these points. So let's practice. It doesn't matter whether someone is arahant or not. So I hope no arahants here. I am also not.
The last report number 7. Theruvan Saranai Swamin Vahansa. Paryanka Bhavanaava. අද දින මා පරයන්කය සඳහා කුෂන් කොට්ටයක අර්ධ පරයන්කයෙන් වාඩි උනේමි. මාගේ මූල කර්මස්ථානය ආනාපාන සති භාවනාවයි. ශරීරය දිහා සිතින් බලාගෙන ගියෙමි. ශරීරයේ වැදෙන තැන් ස්පර්ශවන තැන් නිරීක්ෂණය විය. ටික වේලාවකින් හුස්ම රැල්ලේ ඇතුල් වෙන සැටිත් පිට වෙන සැටිත් නිරීක්ෂණය කළෙමි. දිග කෙටි වශයෙන් පෙනුනි. නාසිකාග්‍රයේ වැඩි නැති වී යන හැටි අත්දැක්කෙමි. හුස්ම රැලි 10ක් විතර යන විට නාසය බරට දැනුනි. ඒ අතර හිත පිට යන හැටිත් තේරුනි. එය සිතුවිල්ලක් යනුවෙන් මෙනෙහි කරන විට නැවත හුස්මට හිත යෙදෙයි. සක්මන් භාවනාව. පියවර 10ක් පමණ වම දකුණ වශයෙන් මෙනෙහි කළෙමි. નિરાයාසයෙන්ම යටිපතුල් වලට වැලි පොළව පෑගෙන අයුරු අත්දැක්කෙමි. සිතුවිලිත් ඒ අතර ගමන් කරමින් සක්මන විනාඩි 30ක් පමණ කරගෙන ගියෙමි. ඔබ වහන්සේට නිදික් නිරෝගී බව ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමි.
ඔහොම කරගෙන යන්න. විශේෂයෙන් ඉතින් සකස් කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. තව ඉතින් පුළුවන් තරම් එදිනදා කටයුතු වලදී සතිය දිනු කරන්න. මොකද දැන් අපි මෙතෙන්දී ලියලා තියෙන්නේ විශේෂයෙන්ම සක්මනේ පරයන්කේ විස්තර. ඒ වගේම පුළුවන් තරම් අනිත් කටයුතු වලදී සිහියෙන් ඒ කටයුත්තේ යෙදෙන්න උත්සාහන්ත වෙන්න. හොඳයි, එච්චරයි. So we have all those questions. Yeah, please. Not about arahants.
Devante, this is my personal experience on before and after meditation in my personal life. I generally don't get that much anger. But some instances, especially in driving, I get the anger. So instantly it used to come, especially when I started driving in this country. so that I could not control in the early stages.
They are helping you.
Yeah, I could not control in the early stages. But after started meditation practices, now I can see that anger is coming with fear sometimes.
Good, yeah.
Because it's complex bit because it's combined with fear and the anger in the initial stages. But now I get the feeling, yes, I'm getting angry, but I used to eradicate that saying they may be like that.
They may be.
They may be
other
like
party.
that. The other party may be like that. And also that there was another one instance. I got it. Certain world conflicts that which is happening currently.
Certain what?
World conflicts. Right. So we used to get angry sometimes, maybe about the humanitarian backgrounds or what it is. But now I really don't watch TV also. At the same time, I see that it's not under my control. So therefore that let it go, that's it. So that I don't get that particular angry feeling right now.
Yeah.
Actually, this is one of the benefits that I have got it after starting my meditation practice.
Yeah, I have a few things actually we can comment here. Now, assume that if there is a lotus flower to grow and it's coming up and then blooming across, coming through the water and blooming out. Now it's a blossomed and nice smell and color and everything is there. Where is it rooted? In the mud. So for us also like that. So this whole society and the incidents happening are giving that kind of a contribution, kind of a fertilizer to grow. So therefore we can't expect the world to be completely flat, completely a wholesome place, everybody to be wholesome, everybody to be supportive. Rather people will react, people will act in a different way. And how are we going to navigate in all these different situations? And we all individually will go through ups and downs of our lives. Vicissitudes of our lives are inevitable to everyone, even to the Buddha. So there may be situations which are favorable, there may be situations which are not favorable. So when we are going through all these different situations, how are we able to maintain our mindset in the middle, in a kind of a equilibrium, in an equanimous way? So that's the challenge. So there may be situations which are really, embarrassing, which are really giving me angry situations. So on such situations, if I am not creating anger, if I am not going through anger, if I am able to maintain an equanimous mind, that is something, the developed state of mind. On the other hand, there may be certain situations where I am feeling really pleased, really happy, getting to be really elated. So even on such situations, if you are without being, agitated, if you are able to maintain calm, tranquil state of mind, that is also something. Therefore, the equanimity is in the way, the mature way of life. So going through ups and downs, so typically can give a kind of a simile. So our mentality has to be like at the beginning of our practice, it may be with huge amplitude. Assume it's a pulse with strong amplitude, large amplitude. But with time it has to diminish. Ultimately it's going to smooth and ultimately settled in a more kind of a baseline. So that is how it is growing. So understanding anger as anger is also very, very important. So that's why, when we are going through situations, if we know, okay, still my mind get agitated, still I feel unhappy, if still I feel anger, instantaneously, it doesn't matter, okay, still I feel anger. Yes, so that makes me to understand, okay, still some more to do, some work to do. I am not an anagami, isn't it? So I am not an anagami, still I have lust, still I have anger, okay, still some more to do. Because eradicating anger and lust are not easy. That's why we need to understand these are the things that we have favored, that we have habituated to our mind for eons of time. So immediately we can't throw them away. So we need to recognize again and again whenever they are arising, and slowly, without promoting it, let it be, let it go, and keep the mind in the balance, keep the mind in the equanimity. So likewise, these defilements have to be let go of, faded away. Panyaya dissa pahatabba. So by knowing through wisdom again and again, without promoting them, without driven by them, without being victimized to them, you have to fade them away. So it's a lifetime process. We can't expect things to happen immediately. It may not happen. So it's a gradual fading off is happening.
Extension Bande, sometimes when I get angry, I used to find a root cause and to see why it came. But finally, once I understood the root cause, it
has
goes out
gone.
from me. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So these are different methods.
Yeah.
So you can recognize whenever anger is there, what is the root cause, as you have said. So what is exactly the why this is happening? Going to the root. That is one option. Or else you can see when anger is there, how you have built it up. So what are the contributing factors? So it may have started with a little irritation, and then you have added a little bit, you have added another assumption, and all that ultimately growing up and develop to the current anger. So you are recognizing that constructed nature. So that's another possibility, another option that Buddha is giving.
So mostly I see that sometimes maybe expectation or disappointment or the attachment.
Yeah.
So once I understood that, okay, this is this, then of course...
and as you said, the expectation. So I expect the situation to be something different from the current situation. Say currently, okay, someone is talking in a harsh way. So I expect him to talk in a more smooth, soft way, but currently he is talking harsh. So I have a certain kind of an expectation. But if I accept, okay, this is the way that the person is behaving, probably he is telling is true. So likewise, we have to manage the situation and somehow keep the mind without agitation. So it's a kind of a tedious process. It's not immediately, instantaneously. We can't get rid of anger and lust both. Yeah. You have a question?
What I feel is that about the anger part of it, all these things would be coming out with sati.
With what?
With mindfulness.
With mindfulness, you can trace it. You can recognize it.
With mindfulness, once you get yourself trained with mindfulness, then I think you will be able to observe that you are getting anger.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean that it can happen immediately.
Correct, definitely.
It has to, through your own practice, those things will arise.
Yes.
So if you have a lot of expectations, and if you have a lot of expectations and anticipations, then you may not get into a state of mindfulness. I think when you become mindfulness, I think these things could be well observed.
Yeah, again and again we need to observe, and again we need to avoid promoting it, and as much as possible keeping the mind free from the proliferation, conceptual proliferation, keeping the mind quiet as much as possible, and then slowly even the slightest anger you may start noticing. The mind has to be developed in such a way, even the slightest anger is able to trace. What happens is, before we start practicing, our minds are very gross. All the different sort of defilements are there. So whatever defilement coming in, it will go to the very higher peak. Then only we understood, and probably by that time, I have even reacted, I have shouted, I have, hit the fellow, and everything has happened. Lack of mindfulness. But later with time, what happens is, with mindfulness practice, you understand, now anger is there, but the power of anger is still, powerful. Still you go ahead with the activity. Still not enough mindfulness. But another stage is there. So before you react, you understand, and you have some control. Internally burning is there, but you are not reacting. Physically, verbally you are not reacting, but anger is there. Burning is there. But later, that also at a very low level. Burning is there, anger is there, but only to a slight level, and it also not lasts for a long time. You can quickly recover. Say for example, say your child is doing something wrong, and you get immediately angry, and you shout. Next moment, if he is going to fall to a well, can you have the compassion? Should be. So likewise, so the anger should not last for a long time. Previously we may be entertaining it for days or weeks or whatever, many hours. But now we should be able to understand, okay, anger has happened, it has gone, now I am settled back into the neutrality, settled back in the compassion or whatever. So even the defilement may not last long time in the mind with practice.
I observed a banner here which says Pramade. There was a banner in this Kalalgoda center which is not there now. It says
Apamade.
It says Pramade Sati Balave.
No. Pamade na kampatiti sati balam. Pamade na kampatiti sati balam. That means a different thing. At the indriya level, at the faculty level, so you understand, okay, there is a skill called mindfulness. On some days it is very, active, it is very powerful, and certain other days it is not powerful. So you recognize, okay, this is the mindfulness I have now developed. This is a kind of a quality, mental quality, skill I have been developed. And certain days, I am very mindful. Each and every activity I am doing mindfully. So that is the mindfulness has taken the mind. So it is the governing factor. That's the faculty level. And you can even remember each and every activity, and you are throughout the day you have some fair amount of continuity of mindfulness. So these things are there. But later, as you are further growing, and you understand, okay, now mind is going to a little bit of past, even to the future, but you are not that panic about it. But quickly I can recover. So now the mind is very much like under your control. Easily I can recover. You are not panicking about it. So that is the sati bala, the power of mindfulness, where the mindfulness has grown to such an extent where you have certain confidence about your own. Not the Buddha, not the Sangha, anyone, but rather your own. You have confidence in your own practice. Even though mind has gone to something wrong, something bad, but nothing to worry, I can manage it, I can handle it quickly, I can recover quickly. So you have that confidence. 101 times you have done that, you know that you are with your own experience, you have that confidence. So that is the way what we call sati bala. Pamade na kampatiti sati bala. Even when the mind become somewhat distracted, you are not being panicked about it.
Yeah, that means with mindfulness, you don't react immediately.
Definitely, that is the one
So that is
benefit of mindfulness. No, so that impulsive reaction is not available. So when mindfulness is available, so you have a choice. You are able to look at the situation objectively in a more impartial way. You can look at it without quickly reacted. That is one important benefit of mindfulness. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we have spent almost 1 hour. If there are no more questions, then we line up. Yeah, that's one question.
Why can't we keep the mindfulness throughout the day? Certain times you have, but is it a practice or what?
Yeah, I mean, it has to happen with time. More and more we practice, it becomes more and more available to us. And we can't say it is still perfect 100% mindfulness. We can't, it's usually impossible but fairly you have the presence of your mind. Kind of awareness is there. And actually the point is, it is not mere mindfulness here we are talking. At the beginning we start with mere mindfulness, bare attention. So it is purposeful. So mind going to past, to the future, so you are strongly, purposely, again and again, you are bringing it and putting it to an object. So that is how we start. So it is effortful. But that is what we have to do at the beginning, and that is how we are developing. But later, without stagnating there, now when we have certain amount of mindfulness, when we have certain amount of concentration, we start Vipassana. We start practicing, understanding the phenomena, their true behavior, and etc. So the wisdom also growing now. And you are coupling mindfulness with clear comprehension, coupling mindfulness with the wisdom. So that practice takes you to another stage. It is not mere mindfulness will take you to the complete liberation, no complete say freedom. Rather, mindfulness has to be coupled with so many other factors, particularly the clear comprehension, the wisdom aspect. And then with the balance efforts, now you do the proper observation of different phenomena, and that understanding helps to let it go, abandon it without grasping. Then the mind becomes sort of it is capable of non-grasping now. So then mindfulness is inherent characteristics of that nature of the mind. No more you are purposely, strongly, effortfully maintaining mindfulness. Rather, mind is not grasping. So then mindfulness becomes effortless. It's a kind of a inherent characteristic of the mind. So that is the kind of growth of the mindfulness. Therefore, so we don't need to have a wrong understanding, thinking, okay, every day I have to be mindful, I have to be effortfully by mindful. So what a nonsense this is. We get such attitude when we are doing it like that at the beginning. But that is not the case as we are growing. So the mindfulness will be coupled with so many other factors, wholesome factors, and it will take care of the mind. So then mindfulness becomes one available characteristic. It's not something more effortful or purposeful that you are maintaining it. Rather, it's available, naturally available, something like that. Yeah. Okay, then we'll wind up the session, and thank you very much for participation, and we'll have the Dhamma sermon as usual at 4 p.m. Yeah, Thero Sanrai.